Here at the AnomicAge, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the AnomicAge, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the JohnAge project at AnomicAge.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, isn't it?
Well,
yeah. How did she explain it to you, Mrs. Morrissey?
there was very poor communication until we went into counseling. And it almost broke up our family. But through counseling and Serena, I can understand it better.
What do you understand?
That she feels like she doesn't want to be like everyone else, and she wants to be her own person. And through the dress code and her lifestyle, she's expressing this. It doesn't conform with our rules, but we're learning to cope, and it's a very, very difficult thing. Extremely difficult.
Dareth, let's let you talk for yourself. You're from Long Beach, California.
I just can't handle being like everybody else because that's what everybody else wants, you know. Just because somebody else does something does not mean that I have to do it. You know, I have my own morals and ideals, and I go by them.
Are you drug-free, Dareth?
Yes, I am.
Is this a political statement, then? Do you have some misgiving about the society that you see?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems, you know. A lot of the people are really aware of what's going on, you know, and I don't like it, you know. There's a lot of problems.
What?
I don't like the way society is based.
What bothers you? Give us some of the misgivings you have.
The rich, the poor, the people starving, the wars, you know. Why can't, you know, everybody just get along and just live their life?
Here at the AnomicAge, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the AnomicAge, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the JohnAge project at AnomicAge.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, isn't it?
Well,
yeah. How did she explain it to you, Mrs. Morrissey?
there was very poor communication until we went into counseling. And it almost broke up our family.
Salon Real and Chevy.
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the JohnAge Project.
no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the AnomicAge, and I am your host, JohnAge, hailing proudly from the coastal plains of the Old North State. I'll be your tour guide this afternoon as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet. A forced march into obsolescence thrust upon us by a global Luciferian death cult of pedophiles. Thanks for tuning in. Please check out AnomicAge.com. Heavens to Betsy, we got the wrong God blame thing up already. AnomicAge.com. If you've not already done so, please like all of the likes. Subscribe to all of the subscriptions. PayPal.me/AnomicAge. Patreon.com /AnomicAge.com. I can guarantee you I can fix these problems. I love the technical difficulties. Anyway, check out AnomicAge.com. Help me out there if you can. Do no more. Please just share the links. You know what to do. Let's dive into the pool here. We're sitting at Thursday. Whew. Thursday, August 21st, year of our Lord, 2025. I'm happy to be back with you once again, even if it's not in the wee hours of the AM. Still working on a little something. I'm not going to reveal anything quite yet, so just hold on to your hats. All in due time. So if you looked at what we got to talk about today, you know what we got to talk about today. The only story that matters, folks. Cracker Barrel. I can't believe it. The only story that matters. If you got any social media whatsoever, and I guess you're in any way right of Mao, you know the deal. It's nothing real, folks. It's all Cracker Barrel. It's all Cracker Barrel all the time. That's right. All Cracker Barrel all the time. So we're going to run through some of this stuff. We're going to run through this stuff quick. And then we're going to get into something else. So let's tackle the real deal, the thing everybody wants to talk about, on everybody's mind. Oh, I know. I'm going to pull up some social media for you because I know you want to see that. All right, so the DEI hire of the hour is none other than this young lady, DEI hire and CEO Julie Masion. She is the CEO of Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel been around for a while and has not changed their logo since its inception, so they say. So their logo previously looked like, like this image on the top here. A little man sitting in a little rocking chair. It looks like a regular chair, actually. Sitting in a regular chair. And he's just sitting there next to a barrel. And, yeah. So Julie took it upon herself, DEI hire of the day, perhaps of the week. I mean, I got to at least say, she doesn't look like the usual suspect DEI alleged females that we've been seeing. You know, Teresa, was that the police chief in Cincinnati, doesn't look like one of those obese ogres that you typically see, like the DC Metro police chief that you saw, I think, last week. So she does not look like the usual suspect. Kind of a cross between one of the Yanomamo and Mo, complete high and tight haircut types, ogreish ladies that you typically see of the DEI persuasion. So perhaps not of that ilk, but undoubtedly of liberal. And that's just code for commie, satanic fruitcakedom, abso-smurfly of that ilk. So since this young lady, I don't know if she's young, maybe she's older, maybe she's younger, who knows? Since she's taken the helm and decided to swish things up, to rebrand, as you've seen a wash on social media, anytime you see the word rebrand, that just really means we're going to commie it up. We're going to change the dude to a chick. We're going to change the white chick to a black girl. If they are black, we're going to remove them completely from the packaging. It's just hilarious, folks. So since this thing has gone down, let me read it for you. Hammering the stock, wiping out $250 million in value since Felice became the CEO. Stocks went down 34%, erasing $587 million in value. My gracious goodness sakes alive. I ain't even going to talk about that Netanyahu thing quite yet. I might do it in a minute. So anyway, the stocks are plummeting, and otherwise falling through the floor. But wait, there's more. Let's do what we were going to do, I guess. We're going to listen to this lady. We're going to listen to this lady talk about what she was talking about. Let's see if we can pull that interview up since we had to pull it down because it kept popping up. Here we go. Let's hear the interview from this person.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like.
Overwhelmingly
positive. I'll give
positive.
you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So
yeah, of course.
The feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a
So they tell you they're going to change it, and then they're going to laugh it off here at the end. Hold on.
For our guests and
it's
our
going to be
team
good.
members.
Well, Julie Masion, it's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to
and
be
thank
here.
You
Thank you
for
again.
answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Robin?
Can I get in writing that the peg game is going to stay?
The peg game is staying. So are the rocking chairs,
The peg
fireplace, vintage decor, it's all there.
All right.
Vintage decor, I don't think so. But let me get to the point here, because I wanted to underscore this. I didn't mention it a moment ago. Go woke or go broke here. Cracker Barrel CEO Julie Masion decision to decolonize. Decolonize, folks. That's one of them lovely words brought to you by the Frankfurt School, promulgated out of Germany, brought over to Columbia, and of course mass-produced through lovely institutions like Columbia, University of Chicago, and wherever your children might happen to go. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The decolonize mantra, that's part of the Frankfurt School K-12 indoctrination, college university weaponization. That's code for more of their critical theory, whether it's critical race theory, critical gender theory, critical up your theory, whatever they want to frame it as. Whenever you see these buzzwords, I hope you already know the deal. So decolonize just means we're going to take the crackers out. Okay? So indeed, they took the man out. I swear. They did indeed take his butt out of there, folks. Took him out of there like Angel Mama. Took him out of there like Uncle Ben. My gracious. Took the man out of there like the Land O'Lakes Indian. He is gone. He is out of there like last year. Quicker than yesterday's garbage. That man is no longer part of the plan. And just to give you the realness here, take a look at this. Take a look at this here. This is the before and after. Just like one of those ridiculous home renovation shows where there's only like one income and they're still buying like a $2 million house with like a $500,000 remodel. You know that? Yeah, but different, of course. I wonder how much this remodel costs, Cracker Barrel. Let's check it here. So on the left, you got the old Cracker Barrel. You know, full disclosure, whatever. I'm not into like the cluttery restaurant look. I mean, this is the kind of crud you saw with who's got this? Like every restaurant of the 90s / early millennium had this kind of decor, except just in different versions. I remember here in the old location than I am, undisclosed for reasons of security and therefore insecurity. Used to be a place called Rockola Cafe. Had the same sort of motif, just a bunch of records and music crud everywhere. I'm trying to think of this place. Was it like TGI Fridays or something? Had the same sort of mess, just a bunch of cluttery garbage on the wall. Chili's, I think, kind of the same mess. I can't even remember all these vastly like gone by the wayside restaurants of that era, but kind of the same deal. The only difference is Cracker Barrel had kind of more of an Americana country motif, which of course Princess DEI doesn't want any part of. She wants to decolonize it. She doesn't want those pesky crackers involved or any sort of motif of Americana, rural America or country. No, no, no. So on the right, we've seen the remodel, the transformation of America. So we've seen the remodel, the transformation of this whole gig, and it kind of just looks like IHOP, maybe like a Denny's or something. I mean, it really looks kind of more like IHOP. So they've brightened the walls, they've organized the clutter, and it just kind of looks okay. They put in booths. I don't think they even had booths before. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been to Cracker Barrel. But anyway, so that's kind of the deal. So you're seeing that. But don't worry, they're still going to have the peg game, and they're still going to have the rocking chairs. I guess they're still going to have the country store. I don't know, man. I don't really know. And to be honest with him, as you see by the graphic from yours truly, who really cares? I mean, to me, it's just all emblematic of vote with your dollars. I guess in the pantheon of restaurants that you have to choose from when taking a road trip, driving across America, or even driving across the state, Cracker Barrel was one of the, I guess, better choices. So, I mean, if you look at the crap choices there are to pull over and eat on the side of the highway, you've got the usual suspect fast food nausea. And then you've got the kind of cruddy usual suspect restaurants, and then you had Cracker Barrel. So, never the biggest Cracker Barrel fan. Obviously, like all restaurants, GMO-laden seed oils, vastly poison disguised as food. So, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. If I was traveling somewhere and that was one of my choices, yeah, I'd pull into Cracker Barrel just for the biscuits alone. I'd grab some biscuits, some mac and cheese, and I'm a huge fan of fried okra. So they had all three of those in check. Last time I went there, the whole fam went there, and I remember bringing in my own jelly because, of course, they only have the GMO jelly with the corn syrup and the glyphosate and all that stuff that'll kill you. So, yeah, I was trying to do better, and while still eating the GMO flour-laden crud, I was bringing in my own jelly. So, alas, it boils down to vote with your dollars, folks. This is no different than any other big corporation. It just kind of humors me to see the cognitive dissonance in the general public where they actually believe and somehow, this like weird parasocial relationship where they identify with pop stars and they identify with celebrities and musicians and these different cult figures. They also do that same thing with branding. So they'll sort of cling on to these once great vestiges of Americana, like the Pillsbury. Oh, the Pillsbury, I grew up with the Pillsbury and the Doughboy. Well, we're still going to buy that, even though it's just crud. It's crud, folks. Oh, we're still going to get the kids the breakfast cereal that we grew up on because, I got that when I was a kid. Yeah, the stuff you had when you were a kid wasn't just outright crud, folks. It wasn't just laden with toxins, chemicals, fake colors, fake flavors, and the like. Now it's all just poo-poo. So, if you want to still live in that cognitive dissonance, like we still have to love this because at least they give lip service to Americana, they don't even do that anymore, folks. They've removed the guys. The shield is down. It's kind of like the cloaking mechanism is off. Maybe that's why people are seeing these alien crafts the size of Manhattan. Their cloaking mechanism just cut off. Is that it? Anyway, so in my humble opinion, these folks are just revealing themselves for what they really are. They don't care about you. They didn't care about you in the first place because they were putting toxic chemicals in the food to kill you. And alas, they don't care about you once again because they're rubbing it in your face, the brown stuff, that they don't give a rat's patoot about their primary demographic. So there you go. Quit going to places that are trying to kill you. Quit going to places that are giving you the proverbial middle finger. Same thing with the NFL. The NFL is showing you for the 100th time that they don't care about you. To paraphrase the great leaving of fear, who consequently is playing here pretty soon, can't afford to go see a leaving of fear because tickets are like $45. Get the bleep out of here. What are you, Blink 182? Fear. I mean, a legendary punk band that I saw when I was like 16. I don't know. But clearly ain't going to see him when I'm not 16 anymore. So there you go. What else are we going to get into? I'm going to get into this one. I'm going to get into the DC bait and switch, and then I'm going to come back to this because I know what you really want to talk about. I know the viewing audience wants to really get into Cracker Barrel more, so we will. Don't you worry. What we're also going to talk about is the old shell game of the DC now, because I should have put this on the screen, but I'll just read it to you. Make DC safe again. 630 arrests. 86 guns seized. August 21st, 2025. And it's got a picture of old Trump baby and Pam Bondi, side by side. We're making it safe again. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's good. But it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same thing as the Cracker Barrel conundrum, huh? So it's kind of like if you're in a relationship and the person is abusive, but they're bringing home a really big check. So even though they're slapping you around, you don't have to work, they're bringing in lots of money, sure, they'll slap you around. But otherwise, I mean, they're great. They're a great person. They just gonna have to get slapped around every now and then. That's how it is. And people are so willing to overlook the elephant in the room and hyper-focus on the good things. Hence the cognitive dissonance, folks. I mean, I keep coming back to these simplistic versions of psychology, and people are just like, what? So that's kind of what's up, folks. So with Cracker Barrel, people are willing to forget that they're killing you with the food and get mad that they're putting like DEI CEOs and they're taking a guy off the flipping logo. They're changing the color of the restaurant. Like, did you miss the part where they're still killing you with the food? Did that just slip your mind? So here we go, connecting dots to Trump, Bondi, and DC. I covered this on the last episode, but now we've kicked the can forward and we've got numbers to back it up. So DC is safer. Awesome. This is kind of like what should have been done all along. Like when we keep hearing lip service, we might repeal the income tax. Okay, cool. Like, no bleep. That's what you should have done all along. Yeah, Chris Rock used to do a joke like this. I take care of my kids. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, DC's safe again. Okay, like, you want a medal for this? Like, DC's supposed to be safe. It's the alleged capital of the country. We know it's bull butter, but, District of Criminals, District of Columbia, phallic symbol there in the middle, just like the one in Rome, just like the one in England. We've connected all these dots in the past episodes, but yeah, DC's safe again. Good. That's like the police coming out saying, we're going to crack down on pedophiles. Okay. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Maybe you should, stop cracking down on traffic violations and focus on, people trafficking kids or something. What am I thinking? Huh? But no, that won't happen. So we got this big diversion. We got Trump meeting up with Pootie Poot last week. Oh my goodness, that was a buzz and a wash. And in plain English here, a big who cares. What really happened with it? Not a bleep of a lot, apparently. Apparently we're still gonna back the Ukraine. We're still gonna arm these boobs and oh wait a minute, they're gonna pay for it, right? Okay, Trump's bent on this moot point that we're not giving them munitions anymore. We're selling it to them. Okay, we're selling it to them. Well, what about the billions of dollars that were laundered to the Ukraine? If they're buying the weapons, do you think they're buying the weapons with the money that we gave them? Just a thought, just thinking out loud here. So, he met with Pooty Poot, and okay. That's like saying, I don't know. On the way home, I stopped by the store and picked up some milk. Okay. We're still out of groceries. It's good for you, I guess. You met with Putin. Good. And now we're on the precipice of going to war in Venezuela, fighting the cartels, and any form, fashion, or faction to distract us from the huge elephant in the room that has taken a big poop everywhere and just wrecking the house. The elephant in the room, that would be the non-disclosure of the Epstein client list. The non-disclosure of the JFK, RFK, MLK, anybody else under the sun that was supposed to be disclosed in the Trump regime take two, we're yet to really see. And Alex Jones brought this up today, and I was glad somebody besides me was doing it. But he was saying, what about the Anthony Weiner laptop? We got this Anthony Weiner stooge about to run for city council? How is this even possible, folks? People that go to jail or prison for just minor drug infractions, just silly mess. They've got a criminal record. They can't even work at a car wash. Meanwhile, you got Anthony Weiner, which went to a Club Fed for a couple months, I believe. I don't even know how legit that is. For the notorious Anthony Weiner laptop, we had, 9 different cops mysteriously die, commit suicide, or get into bizarre accidents, a la Michael Hastings, surrounding the Anthony Weiner laptop. Nothing has yet been divulged, disclosed, or otherwise revealed about the Anthony Weiner laptop and the substance thereof. We still don't know. We've got hints, but to be for real with you, I don't even want to see any of it. I don't want to see any child getting hurt, molested, assaulted, raped, anything that happens to be in that laptop. And I do believe everything I discussed and even so much more has been in that laptop, or at least that's what the proverbial they say. So bottom line is, the Epstein thing is real cute and is a really big fish, but you should probably go after the Israeli Mossad connections. You should probably reveal the people that are in that list. They should all be jailed, tried, and executed to the fullest extent of the law. But will we see that? No way, not a snowball's chance that's going to happen. Just not. So yet another weapon of mass distraction. I'm glad that we're doing what we're supposed to do in the District of Criminals, a.k.a. getting the criminals off the streets. The funny of it all is the real criminals are actually in the buildings, the cabinet positions, the Senate, the House, the representatives, all those. I was about to go dark there. All those flaming pus bags. Yeah, all those people are the real criminals. And at this point in the game, I don't see any difference between right, left, center, or otherwise. I see everyone up there as a potential person that should be tried in a court. I'll just say that. So that's really what we got going on, huh? We got time for a little bit more. We got time for a little bit more, don't we? Because this is what people really wanted to get into. Yes. They wanted to get back into Cracker Barrel because, man, this is the news story of the day. I posted a little bit about this earlier this week because I thought, okay, we got the story of the week, the new thing we're supposed to talk about, the ping pong, watching the pong ball go back and forth. What do we care about? What do we care about? What do we care about? And the news cycle just cycles like this and gives you just new BS to care about. So I thought initially that the big news du jour topic for the Stoops was going to be, what was those two Muslim filth piles, the illegal immigrant scum that wrecked a tractor trailer across the median and killed some people? Killed 3 people, if I'm not mistaken. I thought that was going to be it. So these scumbags were like the buzz of the internet for about 4 days, and then they sort of went down. And then I assumed that it would be Hurricane Erin, because it was meant to be, oh, it's bigger than Texas, it's a Category 5 plus, striking fear to the hearts and minds of millions. That sort of thing, you know? But alas, I guess the next rad systems, they didn't want it to hit NC quite yet, so it pushed off to the coast. And hearts and prayers go out to the people in the Outer Banks. So even though the storm didn't really make landfall, if you watched anything of the news variety in NC, you'll see all these big houses with rivers of water flushing underneath them and huge homes being washed to the sea. So prayers essentially and importantly to those folks. But alas, the real story is the occult connections to Cracker Barrel. Oh, yeah. That's right. You know, it occurred to me, because I see this sort of idiotic stuff all the time, where, and I saw it even with the hurricane, I believe. Maybe I'm mistaken. They do this with everything now, the proverbial they. The people that are so desperate for conspiracy, of which there are many, but so desperate for conspiracy, they're doing the image matrixing thing, you know. I remember when I was a kid, what was it? It was In Search Of, and then there was Unsolved Mysteries. There was another one with Jack Palance, I believe. Oh my goodness, it's totally escaping me right now. But the Jack Palance one was pretty cool. But I believe this was an episode of Unsolved Mysteries where it was like a hospital door. And at this point, it was the 80s, so they actually still had real doors that were made of wood. I'm sure all the real furniture, wood, metal, and everything else has been removed from the hospitals because they were racist or toxic or somehow detrimental to a spotted owl somewhere in a remote colony of who gives a bleep. But back then, they actually had wooden doors. And I remember this episode because the wooden door was supposed to reveal the image of Jesus in the wooden door of the hospital. And it's the sort of same thing when you look at some clouds. It's the image matrixing. This is a normal phenomenon. We look at some clouds and, oh my goodness, it's a bunny. And your friend's like, what are you talking about? It's Evel Knievel like jumping over a walrus or something, you know, something insane. So your mind looks for patterns visually and through the auditory as well. So we can actually hear the same sort of thing. What was that? Did they say, I love Keebler Elves? Or is that just white noise, you know, like that sort of thing. So we do the same sort of thing. But I've noticed this particularly in the last couple of years where everyone is posting these bizarre mirrored images of everything. Doesn't matter what the bleep it is. I remember during the throes of the 9/11 false flag, everybody was folding their money and revealing that the Twin Towers were in the bills and all this stuff and the fire and the burning, all that sort of stuff. But lately, we've just been inundated with the hysteria of mirrored images. So just to stoke the flames of the occult-minded conspiracy theorists a bit more, I thought I'd go full bore and give you the real occulted history of Cracker Barrel. Ooh, ooh, ooh. See, if you mirror the image of the man that they removed, if you mirror the image, and you got 2 images here. Oh, yeah. There's 2 barrels now, just like the throne of Moloch, Baphomet. Yeah. And then if you mirror the images and then flip one upside down, ooh, you've got the Baphomet image again. It's Goat Man. You see? Look, it's Goat Man. He's got the horns. It's got the horns coming from the head. Yeah. He's sitting on his throne of blood. And he's even got the outstretched arm up and down, just like the old goat boy. Yeah, he's got his arms on one like this and one down here. And he's probably even doing the really cool Catholic, really occult, hand symbol where he's doing the 2 fingers down thing, you know, the 2 fingers down like you see in all the Catholic artwork. Yeah, he's doing the 2 fingers down. Can we put that on the big one? Yeah, let's put it on the big one there. People need the full Monty of Goatman. So he's doing the as above, so below. So really, the proverbial they, CEO DEI hire, Julie, she removed the Baphomet imagery, you see, because Julie is actually playing 660-degree chess. Julie is actually a freedom fighter. She's actually of Q, and she's on the inside working with JFK. I'm sorry, it's just too funny. Julie's actually working with RFK Jr., JFK's son, and probably Elvis, who's also still alive, as well as like a bevy of other dead celebrities that are actually still alive. So that's really what's going on. I don't know why my camera has decided to just randomly move, but it has. That's okay. Because that's cool. Because check this out. I can override the bull button and just turn it back to where it needs to be. There you go. Hey, I can override the stupid. I can pull that off. So that's what's really going on. Julie is not the deep state CEO, DEI hire of Cracker Barrel that she is portrayed in the mainstream legacy media. Nay. Julie is on the inside. She is part of Q and the 660-degree chess with RFK Jr., with JFK's son, who's also really alive. And what they're doing is they're infiltrating the Cracker Barrel satanic organization. They are removing the Baphomet imagery, and they are brightening up the inside. They're bringing the light into the restaurants of the Cracker Barrel, and they're going to stop the trafficking that's going on in the Cracker Barrel and the satanic worship, and that's really what's going on. So there you go, folks. That's the mystery here. If you look at the man here, again, if you do a mirror image, you see that he's got one hand down and one hand up. He's also got 4 arms, which is very reminiscent of some of the Indian deities. What's the one? Ganesh or something, I believe. Big Blue is what I used to call him. So he's also got some sort of symbol here on his overalls. I'm pretty sure that is a Jewish symbol, or the star of Satan right here. You just can't see it. You have to turn your head a little bit. And you'll see there's also iconography of triangles everywhere. We know what that means. So this is clearly a satanic image of Baphomet. As above, so below. So as above the barrels, so below the barrels. Those barrels are for child trafficking. Yep. Just like the McMartin preschool, that's what's going on in allegedly in different Cracker Barrel locations. So hats off to Julie for being a freedom fighter, for being a deep cover whistleblower, and for working with Q and President Trump, of course, to really expose the deep state occult iconography, symbolism, and trafficking going on at Cracker Barrel. So the bottom line is, people that are opposing this are Satanists. They are wrong. They are obviously trying to disrupt Trump and to dissuade people away from the light. That's all I've got to say about that. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Get out there, do your part, make a difference. I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the AnomicAge.
Thank you for listening to the AnomicAge, a JohnAge project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to AnomicAge.com. That's AnomicAge.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to the AnomicAge.